Hey everybody, this is Russ from Retro Game Core. So you may remember way back in the day, I mentioned that 351elec was going away. I actually made an entire video about the final release of 351elec. Well, I'm happy to say that the team behind 351elec totally made a liar out of me. Because even though they initially planned on closing up shop and no longer updating the firmware for the RG351 devices, the team ended up reforming and started working on this firmware again. They're calling it 351elec REBORN. And so in today's video, I'm going to show you how to update to this new version of the firmware, and I'll show you some of the tweaks and updates they've already made to this firmware. It's pretty exciting. So without any further delay, let's check it out. Okay, first things first, check out the link I have in the video description. It'll take you to the 351elec wiki page. And there, under the installation header, you're going to find a link to their latest releases. And here you can see here is yesterday's REBORN release. And you've got a couple options here. The first one is you can actually just download the image file itself and start fresh with a new SD card, or you can download a tar file which is going to update your existing install. I'm going to update my existing install here so you can see me clicking on the RG351P version tar file. And the RG351V will have its own separate file, so just make sure you grab the one for your specific device. Okay, once you've downloaded the tar file, all you actually have to do is plug your SD card into your computer, open up the updates folder, and then just move that tar file over into the blank updates folder on your game's partition. And just like that, you've started the update process. Now, if you're starting with a brand new SD card image, I recommend you check out some of my other videos on my channel about 351elec specifically. So let's update my device here and let me show you how it all works out. When you start up the device, it's going to recognize that you have a tar file, and it'll extract the contents of that tar file and install the new update. I would say altogether it takes about a minute and a half, maybe 2 minutes to get going. After the device reboots, you can see there's a brand new loading screen. And so here we are, we're back in 351elec, but now a newer version. Now, reading through the release notes, one of the most significant changes they've made is that navigation through Emulation Station is much quicker. For example, if we choose a game, and then we press the select button, and then go into game options, usually once you select the advanced game options section, it takes about 10 seconds to load. But as you can see here, it's almost instant now. This means that you're going to be able to go in and make game-specific changes without having the delay that you're used to. The same thing when you go through the main menu. If you go into the game settings, and then you go into per system advanced configuration, usually when you select a system, it takes forever to load. But as you see here, it's just instant. That's awesome too. Same thing here, you can make system level changes without having to have that delay. It's pretty exciting. A couple other notes here. Everyone loves to ask me about what themes I'm using, so let me show you this one here. If you go into UI settings and then theme set, you can see this one. It's called Aaron. And this is the theme I've been using lately on 351elec. I really like it. Now, if you go into the download section in the main menu, there's also another significant update. Go into the packages section and then scroll all the way down until you find the most recent update. And there it is right there. It's the RetroRun emulator. And if you've seen my other videos, you know that this is the emulator that works on ArcOS and Retro Arena, and it significantly improves Dreamcast, Atomiswave, and Naomi performance. So after you've downloaded RetroRun, go ahead and restart Emulation Station, and then go into the main menu, Game Settings, Per System Advanced Configuration, then Dreamcast, Emulator, and then change it to the RetroRun Flycast emulator. And that's all you have to do. Now you have the better emulator for Dreamcast. And this has never been available on 351elec before. Now this new emulator is both great and a little bad. It's great in the fact that it plays a lot of games much more quickly than it does in RetroArch. And as you can see here, games like Sonic Adventure 2 are playing at basically full speed. Same thing with Soul Calibur, it plays really well. Now the bad thing about this emulator is it doesn't have any in-game menu, so you can't look at your frames per second, you can't do save states, anything else like that. You have to rely on the in-game saves like you would if you were using an original Dreamcast console. Unfortunately, you just don't have all those features like you do in RetroArch. So it's a bit of a trade-off. Do you want to have better Dreamcast performance, or would you rather have some of those features that you can find in RetroArch? Now, it doesn't fix every single game in the world. For example, Virtua Tennis 2 or Dead or Alive 2, neither of these games are playing really well. They definitely feel a lot better than they do in RetroArch, but they're nothing like the original speed at this point. I'd say they're probably 80, maybe 90% of the way there. Now another issue a lot of people have with 351elec is that it sometimes takes a long time for a game to boot up. So let's time it here. I'm just going to start up a Game Boy Advance game here. And a lot of people say that this loading text here is what slows things down, but it doesn't. It just kind of feels like it's a longer loading time. So there it is. It's a little over 10 seconds. It's about 10.5 seconds altogether. That's not terrible, but it's also not great. Now, along with the 351P and 351M, the 351V has also been updated. Specifically, it now has new themes that take advantage of the 640 by 480 display, and they look great. But one thing I should mention is that this new Dreamcast Retro Run emulator is not working on the 351V yet, only on the 351P and 351M. Alright everyone, really that's it for this video, short and sweet. I just wanted to get this out there and show you that 351elec has been reborn. And I'm especially happy to hear this news since the ArcOS custom firmware stopped development on the 351P and 351M a week or two ago. At the end of the day, I'm just really happy that we have people who are actively working on one of my favorite systems altogether, which is the 351P. And I couldn't be happier with this new Dreamcast update. It's really amazing the performance we're getting out of such a low-powered chipset like the RK3326. Be sure to let me know if you have any questions in the comments below, and let me know if there's anything you'd like me to cover about 351elec in the future. Be sure to like and subscribe if you found this helpful, and we will see you next time. Happy gaming!